Are your friends really there for you? Or are they just using you for their own benefit? Welcome to a brutally honest exploration of friendship, the kind most self-help gurus are too afraid to tackle. Today, we're ripping off the band-aid and exposing the ugly truth about those people you call friends. Ever notice how some friends only reach out when they need something? Or how they mysteriously disappear when you're going through a rough patch? These aren't coincidences, folks. They're red flags waving right in front of your face. Let's talk about the friend who always has a crisis. You know the type. Their life is a constant soap opera, and you're their on-call therapist. But when you need a shoulder to cry on, suddenly, they're too busy or have their own problems to deal with. This isn't friendship, it's emotional vampirism. Now, consider the social climber in your circle. They're all smiles and compliments when you're useful to them, but the moment someone more influential walks in, you might as well be invisible. These opportunists are masters of the bait-and switch, leaving you wondering what just happened. But here's where it gets really insidious: the friend who subtly undermines your confidence. They'll disguise criticism as concern, plant seeds of doubt about your abilities, and always manage to one-up your achievements. Why? Because your success threatens them, and keeping you down makes them feel superior. You might be thinking, but we've been friends for years. Newsflash: longevity doesn't equal quality. Some of the most toxic relationships persist simply because of habit and fear of change. It's time to break free from the sunk cost fallacy. Let's talk about the gossip, the friend who always has the latest dirt on everyone. Sure, it's entertaining, but have you ever wondered what they say about you when you're not around? Spoiler alert, you're not exempt from their loose lips. Then there's the freeloader, always conveniently forgetting their wallet, never offering to chip in for gas, perpetually in between jobs. Your generosity isn't being appreciated. It's being exploited, but wait, it gets worse. Some friends actively sabotage your growth. They'll discourage you from taking risks, mock your ambitions, and try to keep you in the same stagnant pool they're drowning in. Why? Because your progress highlights their lack of it. Now, let's address the fair-weather friends. When life's a party, they're front and center. But when you lose your job, go through a breakup, or face any real hardship, they vanish faster than free samples at Costco. These people aren't friends, they're social parasites. Here's the hard truth: some friends are just placeholders. They fill a void, provide a sense of belonging, but bring no real value to your life. They're human white noise, drowning out the silence of loneliness but offering nothing substantial. Let's talk about the competitive friend. Everything's a contest to them, from career achievements to personal relationships. They can't genuinely celebrate your successes because they're too busy feeling threatened by them. This isn't friendship, it's a never-ending Olympic event where nobody wins. Now, consider the friend who's always too busy. They'll rain check on plans, leave your messages on read, and make you feel like you're constantly chasing them. But mysteriously, their social media tells a different story. The truth: you're just not a priority to them. Here's a painful realization: some friends are just using you as a stepping stone. They'll leverage your connections, skills, or resources to get ahead, then discard you once you've served your purpose. It's not personal, it's just cold, calculated ambition. Let's address the friend who constantly plays the victim. Nothing is ever their fault, and the world is always out to get them. This perpetual victimhood isn't just exhausting, it's a manipulation tactic designed to keep you in a caretaker role. Now, brace yourself for this one. Some of your friends might actually be happy when things go wrong for you. It's called schadenfreude, and it's more common than you think. Your misfortunes make them feel better about their own lives. Ouch. Consider the friend who's always borrowing money. They always have a sob story, a promise to pay you back soon, but somehow that day never comes. They're not treating you like a friend, they're treating you like an interest-free bank. Let's talk about the friend who's constantly trying to change you. They criticize your choices, your appearance, your lifestyle, all under the guise of just trying to help, but real friends accept you as you are, not as they want you to be. Now, here's a subtle one: the friend who always has to one-up you. If you ran a 5K, they ran a marathon. If you got a promotion, they're starting their own company. They can't let you have your moment because their ego can't handle it. Consider the friend who's always stirring up drama. They thrive on conflict, often pitting friends against each other. Why? Because chaos gives them a sense of control and importance. They're not a friend, they're a puppet master. Let's address the friend who's always asking for favors but never returns them. They'll gladly take your time, energy, and resources, but when you need help moving or a ride to the airport, crickets. This isn't friendship, it's exploitation. Now, let's talk about the friend who's always negative. No matter what's happening, they'll find something to complain about. This constant negativity isn't just annoying, it's toxic. It can drag down your mood, your outlook, and even your ambitions. Consider the friend who's always trying to sell you something. Whether it's their latest MLM scheme or their life-changing course, they see you as a potential customer, not a friend. Your relationship has become a business transaction. Let's address the friend who's always flaking on plans. They'll enthusiastically agree to meet up, then bail at the last minute with a flimsy excuse. This isn't just rude, it shows a fundamental lack of respect for your time and feelings. Now, here's a tough pill to swallow. Some friends are just keeping you around as a backup plan. You're their safety net, their fallback option when their preferred plans fall through. You deserve better than to be someone's plan B. Consider the friend who's always fishing for compliments. They constantly seek validation, fishing for praise with false modesty or self-deprecation. It's exhausting, and it turns every interaction into an ego-stroking session. Let's talk about the friend who's always trying to control you. They have strong opinions about who you should date, what job you should take, even what you should wear. This isn't friendship, it's a power play. Now, let's address the friend who's always comparing themselves to you. Whether they're trying to prove they're better or wallowing in self-pity because they think you're better, this constant comparison poisons the relationship. Consider the friend who's always trying to one-up your problems. If you're stressed about work, they're on the verge of a nervous breakdown. If you're having relationship issues, they're going through a catastrophic breakup. They can't let you have the spotlight, even when it comes to struggles. Let's talk about the friend who's always trying to live vicariously through you. They push you to take risks they're too afraid to take themselves, then get upset when things don't go as they imagined. You're not a character in their fantasy life. You're a real person with your own goals and limits. Now, here's a subtle but dangerous friend, the enabler. They encourage your bad habits, support your poor decisions, and never call you out when you're in the wrong. They might seem supportive, but they're actually holding you back from growth and self-improvement. Consider the friend who's always playing devil's advocate. No matter what you say or do, they have to present the opposing viewpoint. While healthy debate can be stimulating, constant contradiction is just exhausting and undermining. Let's address the friend who's always trying to piggyback on your success. When you achieve something, they're quick to claim partial credit or remind you of how they helped you get there. They can't let you enjoy your own accomplishments. Now, let's talk about the friend who's always trying to make you feel guilty. They'll remind you of past favors, bring up old mistakes, or make passive-aggressive comments about how you changed. This emotional manipulation is not what true friendship looks like. Consider the friend who's always in competition with your other friends. They get jealous when you spend time with others, make snide comments about your other relationships, and try to monopolize your attention. This possessiveness is a red flag. Let's address the friend who's always trying to keep you dependent on them. They'll offer help, but in a way that ensures you'll need their assistance again in the future. This isn't generosity, it's a power play designed to keep you reliant on them. Now, here's a painful truth. Some friends are just using you as a placeholder until something better comes along. You're filling a void in their life, but they're always on the lookout for an upgrade. You deserve to be someone's first choice, not their temporary fix. Consider the friend who's always trying to live in the past. They constantly reminisce about the good old days, resist any changes in your life, and try to keep you stuck in a nostalgic time warp. True friends support your growth, not anchor you to the past. Let's talk about the friend who's always trying to project their insecurities onto you. They'll point out flaws you don't have, warn you about unlikely scenarios, and generally try to make you as anxious and insecure as they are. This isn't friendship, it's misery-seeking company. Now, let's address the friend who's always trying to fix you. They see you as a project, not a person. While their intentions might be good, their constant attempts to change you undermine your self-esteem and autonomy. Consider the friend who's always trying to keep you small. They'll discourage you from taking risks, pursuing ambitious goals, or stepping out of your comfort zone. Why? Because your growth threatens their sense of superiority or comfort. Let's talk about the friend who's always trying to make you feel indebted to them. They'll do favors you didn't ask for, then hold them over your head. This isn't generosity, it's a manipulation tactic designed to control you. Now, here's a hard truth. Some friends are just using you as a sounding board. They'll dump all their problems on you, but have no interest in hearing about yours. You're not a friend to them, you're an unpaid therapist. Consider the friend who's always trying to make you choose sides. They create unnecessary drama, pit people against each other, and demand unwavering loyalty. This isn't friendship, it's emotional blackmail. Let's address the friend who's always trying to keep you in their shadow. They'll downplay your achievements, highlight your flaws, and subtly undermine your confidence. Why? Because your success threatens their sense of superiority. Now, let's talk about the friend who's always trying to rewrite history. They'll conveniently forget their mistakes, exaggerate their contributions, and gaslight you about past events. This isn't just annoying, it's a form of emotional manipulation. Consider the friend who's always trying to keep you off balance. They'll be incredibly supportive one day, then cold and distant the next. This inconsistency isn't just confusing. It's a tactic to keep you constantly seeking their approval. Let's address the friend who's always trying to make you feel like you owe them something. They'll remind you of past favors, guilt you for your success, or make you feel bad for setting boundaries. True friendship isn't a transaction, it's a mutual connection. Now, here's a painful realization. Some friends are just using you as a scapegoat. When things go wrong in their life, you're their convenient target for blame. This deflection of responsibility isn't just unfair, it's toxic. Consider the friend who's always trying to keep you in a box. They've created a fixed idea of who you are, and they resist any changes or growth that challenge that perception. True friends celebrate your evolution, they don't try to stifle it. Let's talk about the friend who's always trying to make you doubt yourself. They'll plant seeds of uncertainty, question your decisions, and undermine your confidence. This isn't friendly concern, it's a subtle form of sabotage. Now, let's address the friend who's always trying to make you feel like you're not enough. They'll compare you unfavorably to others, set unrealistic expectations, and never seem fully satisfied with you. This constant judgment isn't friendship, it's emotional abuse. Consider the friend who's always trying to keep you in crisis mode. They thrive on drama and will create or exaggerate problems to keep you stressed and dependent on them. This isn't support, it's manipulation. Let's talk about the friend who's always trying to make you feel guilty for your success. They'll downplay your achievements, remind you of those less fortunate, or accuse you of changing. This isn't humility, it's a tactic to keep you from outgrowing them. Now, here's a harsh truth. Some friends are just using you as a punching bag. They'll take out their frustrations on you, make cutting remarks, and then brush it off as just joking. This isn't playful banter. It's emotional abuse. Consider the friend who's always trying to keep you second-guessing yourself. They'll give conflicting advice, change their opinions frequently, and leave you feeling confused and uncertain. This isn't thoughtful consideration, it's a power play to keep you reliant on their input. Let's address the friend who's always trying to make you feel like you're walking on eggshells. Their moods are unpredictable, their reactions disproportionate, and you never know what might set them off. This isn't friendship, it's emotional terrorism.